Archangel Michael, faith is the key. I am Michael and I say, nothing is more important than your faith. What do you dream about? What do you have faith in? An ocean of opportunities awaits you as you get a grip of your key, your most important key, faith. Dream. Fantasize. Let your hope reach out really far, and imagine all of your best dreams. Use your heart and your etherical heart as it is your angel's heart, and your angel will help you build a wonderful world within you, together with you. It is a holy cooperation. Having faith means that you do use your imagination to dream of a better, more loving and caring world. Having faith is the key to this enormous ocean of more than possibilities. I say it is a way to your miracles. If you have faith, you are plugged in. If your coffee machine is not plugged in, it won't work. If you are not plugged into your faith, your dreams and visions for a wonderful and loving future is limping. But I, Michael, use my faith to even greater miracles, for I help those that have lost their faith, and I sometimes give them a miracle as their own connection is broken. Miracles can happen without faith. But if you take good care of your own faith, let all of your heart's joy come out, and use your creative side of your hearts, and do good by sowing invisible seeds of miraculous creativity. Your imagination is free. Use it. The goodwill in your etherical heart awaits you to begin this important part of your soul's journey on earth, being the creator that you are. Everything is energy. A chair is energy. Air is energy. Feelings are energy. Thoughts are energy. You are what you create. You are your thoughts. Creating good vibrations starts with a good thought and feeling from both of your hearts. Make this a regular moment of joy every day, if it was up to God. This brings forth your heartfelt joy, for you will notice this is making your heart warm with love, and you will feel the elevation into higher dimension as it is fueled by faith, hope, and love, as well as gratitude. I love you. Michael. Archangel Metatron, Trauma Clearing. Greetings, beloved beings of light. I am Archangel Metatron. What a joy it is to be in your presence today. I wish to bring forth an energy that is very much like an energy cylinder of light. This cylinder of light is a cylinder of truth. It is immensely powerful. It supports deep and absolute clearing and healing, and allows for the truth to emerge. The Creator is sharing this cylinder of light for trauma healing, and you are able to download this cylinder of light into your being. The cylinder of light is especially designed to enter through your crown chakra. It exists throughout your entire chakra column. It also encapsulates your spine and your skull. Often much trauma is held within the spine area. This cylinder of light, which allows truth to emerge, supports a deep and absolute clearing of trauma that has been collected and contained within the spine area. This trauma may be from this lifetime. It may be from other lifetimes. Your spine symbolizes your journey as a spiritual being, and so it holds energy from your entire journey, not only your pathway upon the earth. This light cylinder for trauma clearing is immensely powerful, but it's also very delicate and gentle. It will not clear away all energies completely, but will start to unravel the energies, awakening and releasing an area that is appropriate to trauma, that is appropriate, that will then allow you to be conscious of that trauma, to accept it, and become aware of it. In doing so, you will allow for the clearing and the release. The cylinder of light for trauma clearing will then clear everything attached to that trauma, that specific trauma, everything that has been created from that specific trauma. Then, when you are ready, you may feel it is appropriate to call upon the cylinder of light for trauma clearing once more. You might find that it delicately and gently allows you to become aware of another trauma. This trauma you will be able to acknowledge and accept, and thus a clearing will take place. Everything connected to that trauma, everything that's been created or stored connected to that trauma, will also be released. The process continues at a speed that is appropriate for you, so that it is not overwhelming, but simply serves you as a process and a pathway of growth. The most appropriate traumas will come to your awareness, that will create powerful impacts within your being and your reality. You may find that when you download the cylinder of light for trauma clearing, that you don't specifically become aware of any trauma. However, later in the day, or another day, you might become aware of a pattern in your reality, something that has been occurring numerous times throughout your life, or you may have a sensation that is very different to something you've experienced in this lifetime, therefore, it may be from another lifetime. You may be able to recognize its imprint into your reality. As you become aware of the trauma, the wounds, or the stuck energy that is ready to be released, it will come into your awareness. It is not for you to react, to judge it, or to think badly of yourself, but simply to realize that you've been holding on to this, that it's been impacting your being, and that now you can be free from it. After the cylinder of light for trauma clearing has completed its clearing process, it sends the most beautiful golden, shimmering, glittering, sparkling light into your chakra column and into your spine. Each shimmering part, each part of glitter of the light is like a universe of light. So much light is present, and all those glittering golden energies that will be anchored into your spine and your chakra column. Each piece of glitter is like a world of light that you can access, that you can bring into your body, bring into embodiment. Essentially, the cylinder of light is offering to you the light of the universe, more light than you could possibly need. You have the opportunity to bathe yourself in light, in the most warm/tender/glowing golden light that supports/nurtures you and allows you to feel safe, secure, grounded, centered and aligned. I, Archangel Metatron, invite you to really enjoy that golden, glittering light when it comes into your being, because it is immensely sacred and special. It holds the vibration of love and unconditional love without limits or boundaries. It will be immensely healing and nurturing for your entire being. When we acknowledge traumas and wounds held or collected within the chakra column and the spine, we are often recognizing patterns, things that have been experienced multiple times, and while they may cause immense pain and suffering, there is also a relief in recognizing the pattern and realizing that the pattern will no longer continue. Not only does it stop for you, but, because you are stopping it and releasing it, it is stopping for others as well, whether it's generations to come or those around you with whom you are connected. In recognizing the patterns, you are moving through a process of release, setting yourself free from carrying these burdens, and realizing the lessons/understanding/spiritual growth held within these traumas. Now is the time to use the light to set yourself free, to release the traumas, the wounds, the separation, the rejection, and to recognize the light within your being. In doing so, you will discover a pathway forward that is filled with light, guidance, and truth that allows you to navigate through your reality with greater ease, and to experience fulfillment, joy, and bliss. These are your divine right. Call upon myself, Archangel Metatron. Ask me to download the cylinder of light for trauma clearing, and let us begin this process. You can download the cylinder of light as many times as you wish. It is always important to bathe in the golden, glittering light, and to experience the elevation that this light offers to you. I am present to serve you and support you. I am Archangel Metatron. I thank you. Hakann, don't use higher perspectives to invalidate lower ones. My dearest brothers and sisters, this is Hakann speaking. I greet you in peace and love. What often happens on earth is that a spiritual person learns a high perspective, such as all is one, and the service to self path, or in other words being evil, is valid, and ultimately everyone will be alright and rise above division. It's great to learn of those higher perspectives. Yet, a problem sometimes occurs when a spiritual person then uses that high perspective to invalidate lower perspectives in themselves or in others. Or the spiritual person pretends that they have fully embraced this high perspective, when that's not actually their authentic truth. Instead of using higher perspectives to invalidate lower perspectives, what is actually wiser is being able to see from both higher and lower perspectives, and know when to look from which perspective, and not to discard either perspective. So for example, a person might say it's all just experiences, and all experiences are ultimately equally valuable. But, 1. It's good to have the wisdom not to say that to someone who is acutely suffering. And 2. Note that those people who say that are still locking their front door, and are still avoiding dark alleyways at night. If a person's one and only perspective is that everything is all just an equally valid experience, then why do they lock your front door? By their own logic, having someone break into their house is simply just another valid experience. But of course, people do lock their front doors. Here we see that people are able to look at things from both the higher everything is a valid experience perspective, and a lower I should lock my front door perspective. And that's great. It's very functional to be able to look at things from multiple perspectives and being wise enough to know when to use which perspectives, and this also illustrates that people shouldn't use higher perspectives to invalidate lower perspectives in themselves or in others. As another example, ultimately no matter who becomes president of the United States, you will be free. On the other hand, who becomes president does matter, and it probably will affect your life. I personally think it would be better if the person pretending to be Trump became president. Both this higher and this lower perspective are true, and it's useful to be able to see both. An example of using a higher perspective to invalidate a lower perspective is that some spiritual teachers right now are saying that real spiritual people don't have a preference for who becomes president because they claim that is the only true way to rise above division. But then if you listen to these people talk for an extended period of time, sooner or later they'll usually reveal that they actually do have a preference. They're just not being authentic about it. And not being authentic will only create a split inside yourself. In some cases, spiritual people try to invalidate lower perspectives because they're in resistance to lower perspectives, or they're in resistance to engaging with messy, worldly matters. Yes, earth politics messy and ugly, and I wouldn't recommend the average person to spend too much time engaging in politics, and I wouldn't recommend demonizing the other side. But you chose to be born in a messy and ugly world, and being in resistance to the world you're in isn't very spiritual. So, there's nothing wrong with having a political preference. As another example, this channeler hasn't forgiven a certain family member of his for mistreating him when he was a child. If you meet the channeler and ask him, he'll straight up tell you that. This is despite the channeler understanding that a more evolved version of himself would forgive that family member. Yet, today the channeler's authentic truth is that he hasn't yet forgiven that person, and if he forced himself to forgive that person today, then he would only be bulldozing parts of himself. It wouldn't benefit the channeler to force himself to forgive that person. Likely there will come a time when the channeler will forgive that family member of his. However, that will only be once all parts of the channeler are on board with forgiving that person. Finally, in previous channelings, Ashtar and Towermalane have shared that the service to self path, or the evil path, is valid. And from a high perspective, it is. Yet simultaneously the lower perspective is also true that the choice to help others is better in certain ways than the choice to harm others for personal gain. Both choices are valid, however choosing the path of unity consciousness will ultimately make both yourself and the people around you happier than choosing the path of separation consciousness. Ashtar and Towermalane see and understand both perspectives. So on one hand, they are reminding people that the choice to be evil is valid, and this is useful to know because it doesn't ultimately benefit you to hate evil people. On the other hand, Ashtar and Towermalane are also working to protect the innocent. They are sharing teachings through which people can reduce their suffering. And they are working towards the liberation of Earth. So, I would advise you not to use higher perspectives to invalidate lower perspectives. Instead, I invite you to see both higher and lower perspectives, and to see that both have value, and to use either perspective as appropriate. Your star brother, Hakann. Be gentle with yourself. We are in an intense time, when the cosmic energies, plus the solar flares, plus the energies released from both Earths, are rising into crescendo, plus other cosmic events which are simultaneously occurring. Yes, it is all happening at once, and not on visible levels so much as on invisible levels, and as our soul never sleeps, even when we are supposedly asleep, our soul is constantly briefed by our higher guides and ascended masters as to what is happening on universal and cosmic scale. It is time to be gentle with yourself, to let go of all expectations of how things should be, ought to be, need to be, and this includes yourself. Zero thing is ever going to be the same, for it is not meant to be the same anymore. It all changing form, and what appears to be solid is not solid anymore. All is shifting form. Yet, as our vibrational frequencies rise, and as we move from density into the light-filled new forms, we need to be patient with the process. I am always being told that if the changes happen too quickly, our physical forms will disintegrate completely, and so the energy shifts are geared to help our bodies to cope. Yet, it also depends on our emotional, mental and spiritual states as well, for they all are one single entity. It is so necessary to not only make sure that you clear your energy fields every single day, morning and night, and add extra light bubbles in and around you to help you to cope and not take in energies into your own fields which are not yours. Be careful what you are watching, what you are listening to, and what you're eating. You are in sole charge of your own soul, life, and well-being, and no one else. There are many things now happening on Earth which are not broadcast, and yet at a deep level we are tuning into it all. And that tuning in is what will become the norm now, and this from the heart center, which always knows, for it can tune in multidimensional, and as our own light quotients increase, the more tuned in we become. Listen to the feedback that is given by what you are tuning into and trust it implicitly, and go deeper within and stop listening outside of yourself. All you need to know is already there within you. Yes, it is challenging at times, yet there are simultaneously so many miracles happening all at once. With challenges always comes simultaneous support, for life strives for balance. What a time to be alive, and being able to experience and witness this unprecedented event unfold. Remember that the open heart and love is the central unlocking key to the visible and invisible and all that is, as is your own soul. sorceryofflight.com. The other videos are in the English video playlist. Help me spread the light, click like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.